Welcome back. There is a live look outside from the Oregon coast. That's our In It Spanish Head resort hotel camera in Lincoln City. Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Okay, you've heard that books can transport us to a whole new world, and our next guest has taken that to heart. Here to share her favorite books that give us insight into different countries, we welcome back book aficionado Jennifer Willis. It's so great to see you.
Hi, Hannah. Thanks for having me back.
Tell me about this Around the World challenge you've given yourself. This is so fun.
Yeah, so I really like to read with a theme. It's sometimes overwhelming to pick books otherwise. I mean, you walk into the library or a bookstore and you're just hit with so many amazing choices that I've tried to kind of narrow my search down sometimes by giving myself a theme. And so for this season, I'm trying to read as many books from around the world as I can. I'd love, ideally, to read a book set or written by an author from every country in the world. And sometimes I give myself a year or a month to complete a challenge. This one, I've set myself a goal of 5 years since
Yeah,
there's so
fair
many
enough.
countries. But it's just a way to kind of organize my to be read list, and also just to challenge myself to look outside of maybe my favorite genres or my comfort reads and that type of thing by trying to find an author from a country, you know, on the continent of Africa or something like that.
Well, and I bet you've learned so much along the way. So let's jump into some of your favorites. Tell me
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
My Pen is the Wing of a Bird. Now, is this an anthology?
It is. So this is a collection of short stories written by Afghan women. And really, it's the first book of its type, all written by Afghan women writers. And because these stories are written anonymously, it really allowed the authors to speak honestly and about their families and their work and their childhoods and war and culture and identity and gender roles and all of those types of things that are so integral to life in Afghanistan. And it allowed them that freedom to be able to really have that voice be heard for a lot of them, probably the first time. And it was really interesting. I really, like I was saying, with the themes, personally reading stories like these, it's not just interesting and eye-opening to what life is like for Afghan women, but it's also humanizing and connecting for me, allowing me as an American reader to get a glimpse not into just the differences between our lives, but also what connects us. And in this case, as women on the other side of the world.
Yeah, what a special piece of work. Okay, tell me about Black Butterflies.
Okay, yeah. So I was a teen during the Bosnian War, so I was aware of the conflict that was happening, but I didn't really have a very good understanding of what was happening. I was 13 or 14 years old. So this is a work of fiction inspired by the experiences of the author's family and herself, Priscilla Morris. And it tells the story of an artist in Sarajevo during the Bosnian War. But more importantly, it talks about connection building within community and how the community had to rally around itself and support each other with food and really become family when members of their families would flee to other countries during the war, and some would be left behind. And it was really kind of a glimmer of hope in the midst of all of the tragedy of war in Bosnia and
Yeah, what an
Herzegovina.
important piece of literature, a snapshot of that time for
Yeah, and
sure.
it's interesting because we're just now hitting that point where 30 years later we're starting to see some historical fiction, which
Sure.
makes me feel a little old.
Well,
But it's great to see some books being rolled out in that kind of era of
yeah,
history.
great perspective for sure. Okay, we're
Mhm.
going to Japan next. The Kamogawa Food Detectives. This sounds really fun.
Yeah, so this is a much lighter reads than the previous two. The Kamogawa Food Detectives and the Restaurant of Lost Recipes are really, they're asking the question, what's the one food or dish that you do anything to taste one more time? And honestly, initially I was drawn in by the cute cat on the
Yeah.
covers of these. They say don't judge a book by their cover, but I was drawn in by
Pretty
that.
adorable. Yeah.
And it was on the shelf in my library locally, and I was like, oh, that's cute. What's this book about? But I was initially drawn in by that and immediately captivated by the storytelling. And it's such a clever premise. The father daughter duo has this unique, unassuming restaurant in Kyoto, Japan. But the father's also a former police detective, and so customers come to him and ask him to recreate special meals or dishes from some point in their past that are memorable to them, have some kind of really importance in their life. And then he uses his detective skills, his culinary sleuthing, to go into deep detail with the customers and explore their pasts with them, maybe travel to where they're from. And he makes these dishes for them one more time and gives them this really meaningful dining experience. And I loved these books. I believe there's a third one coming out in November. And I probably going to pre-order it like today because I love them so much. And I really kind of felt like I was reading my own favorite comfort food.
I love it. What a great premise. Like you said, okay, give me your 30-second pitch now for I Remember Beirut.
Okay, yeah, this is a graphic novel. I like to read graphic novels just to mix it up sometimes. Again, this is a little bit of a insight into what it was like to grow up during the war in Lebanon. And I like to read these books and pass them on to my oldest too, hoping that she will also have this experience of having her eyes opened to experiences around the world, but also that connection and humanizing of other cultures for us as American readers.
I love this whole journey and passing it along to your kiddos. What great citizens of the world that you all will be after reading all of this.
I hope so.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. It's always great to chat with you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Okay, we'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.